Hello, how are you doing today? Where are you at with your energy coming into the weekend and after a long week? How are you feeling and what vibe are you going to choose to go into the weekend with? Because we sometimes forget that there's an option here. We sort of like just get very, very weighed down by everything that's going around us externally. But if you can go inside and start to decide how you're going to lift your vibe up, how you're going to feel good and have a really good weekend while you recharge, whether that's, if you just retreat or whether you're going to be around other people. Deciding what your experience is going to be. Your power of choice is huge, but you may not quite have realised that yet. I know I didn't before I've learned all that I've learned through becoming a therapist. I didn't know. I thought things were just happening to me. And then I learnt about choice and about mindset and how you can adjust what's going on in your own mind, with your own energy, and even down to protecting yourself from what's going on out there. So it's all brilliant news. So choose what sort of weekend you're going to have, and you'll have a good one. I was thinking actually I wanted to do a little talk for you about how we can so easily be affected by other people, not just in an energy sense, because you know about that one, but this can go a little bit deeper. This was a blog I wrote actually, which I want to share with you, and also because I'm dealing with a client right now who's experiencing a very similar thing. And this is, for her, it's almost like she's become a different person. She recognises that she's acting in a different way. She feels stuck in a way that she hasn't felt before. And this can happen for empaths when we're in a relationship or when we're with somebody really, really close to us without you knowing. So I thought it would be a great idea to come on and have a little chat about this for you so that you're aware of it. In the blog that I wrote, I actually said, have you ever noticed that you start taking on board the characteristics of someone that you're around a lot? Can you relate to that? And you become less of you and you end up more like them. Because absorbing other people's energy is more than feeling what they're feeling. You can actually take on board their belief systems, their thinking patterns, and you may well be holding yourself back with this without realising. I've worked with empaths in the past who change in character significantly when they are in a relationship. They become more concerned with the well-being of their partner, so that they then start to absorb more of how they act. And this is all about boundaries, lovelies. This is about not having that strong. You can imagine it as a field around you, and it's like where you end and somebody else starts. Now, a lot of empaths suffer from this because they don't know their own wants, their own desires. They dismiss their own feelings and everything that they need and want. So you tend to then merge into other people because there's not that line where you stay in your energy field. So you can imagine this as merging into the other. So if you're spending a lot of time around somebody, this could be happening a lot, this enmeshing of energies. And generally, empaths tend to attract people who haven't got a similar boundary. So there's this total crossover where you're sort of like all merging together and you really don't know where you are anymore. This is very, very chaotic way to be. It's confusing. You'll be very, very drained, which you're drained anyway as an empath. So it can all add to the problems that you're experiencing. A good example in the past, as I said in my blog, was one lovely client who, before meeting her partner, was really quite enthusiastic about her job. She felt happy in what she was doing and she loved it. Her partner wasn't happy at work and he complained a lot about it. And at some point, she started to absorb this negativity and she became very unhappy at work. I know. Although nothing had changed for her in the role that she was doing, the people she was surrounding with, there'd been no change around work, but her whole mindset seemed to change towards it. It was only working on the creation of a strong boundary, which is a psychological shift, by the way. It's something that happens internally. Also working with her on self-esteem and building a strong, good relationship with herself that she could then reconnect to how she felt about things. I know initially when we started working, when she was here, she'd have that clarity of herself. It was almost like she could come back into her own energy field. But then she'd find she'd go home and then it would just disappear again, and she was merging. But that was a brilliant thing, because she could start to see the difference. She could start to see what was happening. It doesn't have to be a massive problem. Once you realise what's happening, and you then get the help to work on your boundaries, self-esteem, that sort of thing, it doesn't have to be this massive problem that you think it might be. Staying in your own space is such a massive mindset shift that it eliminates a lot of the symptoms you're experiencing around you. We often think it's all the stuff out there we've got to sort out, but it isn't really. This is the magic. It's inside. When you make the internal shifts, you're feeling better about yourself, you're staying in your own energy field, that this resolves the symptoms of things you're experiencing outside of yourself. So back to the blog. So energy is not only feeling emotions. You can absorb traits, patterns of behaviour and ways of thinking. But it does make you think, doesn't it? Have you ever been you? Something to think about. To be the empowered empath that you're meant to be, you need to be you. 100% you. This is the only place you're going to find peace. So it's not with bits of other people's energy thrown in. Your space is the only place that's going to feel right to you. Being in your own energy field and staying there, learning the tools you need to do this, is the only place that will feel right to you. And we all know how important it is that things feel right. It's wonderful, isn't it? When you get those moments, it's like, ah. And that is being in your own space, by the way. So I just wanted to sort of come on and maybe to just help you to be aware that something could be going on, with the people that's close around you. The way to resolve this is really to stay in your own space. Now, that's going to feel a bit strange, because it's not a place you're used to being. As a lovely empath, you are more externally focused and will concentrate more on other people. So this is a real shift, and it might feel a little bit uncomfortable to start bringing your attention back to you. If you notice anything like this, and it doesn't have to be in a relationship, in your day-to-day life, I've got a really simple and effective breathing technique that you can use to come back into your own energy field. It grounds you back into you, and it's something that you can use very discreetly. Nobody need to know that you're doing it, and you can use it as much as you need in any given day. The beauty of this is when you go back into your body and focus on your breathing with this technique, it quietens the mind. You can't focus on your body and your breathing and think at the same time. And a lot of our problems comes from what's happening with thinking. So I'll put the link to this. It's free. It's a free ebook and video that you can get your hands on and practice with this, and it really helps you to come back into you so that you're not absorbing other people. This will help you to start to recognise what is your space, what does it feel like, the space that's not got anybody else in it. You'll find that this is a really comfortable feeling. It feels like home. And the more you start to recognise this, the more you'll want to be there, the more work you'll want to do to make sure that you are staying in your own energy field and not allowing other stuff in. There's more I could talk to you about that. Obviously, there's the Energy Busters, which is all about how to do this, which is absolutely amazing, by the way. I'll also put the link up to that as well, because if you get hold of your place now in advance, before the programme starts running next time, you can get quite a hefty discount and get it at the original introductory price. The price has gone up, but if you get on board now and onto the waiting list, you can save yourself loads of money. It's massive value for money. So I'll put the link below. Go over, have a look. So get your freebie. Go and have a look at Energy Busters and what it has to offer for you. It changes everything. I know that might sound huge, but it does. It changes everything in the way you're experiencing life. So if you can recognise that, you know, you're being affected and changing in more ways than just an energy disturbance, if you can tell that you sometimes think a bit differently, or something comes into your head you wouldn't normally think, if you're feeling stuck and stagnant and you wouldn't normally be, it's good to start looking at, you know, the people around you and thinking, well, am I picking up something from them? It's really, really important to be the empowered empath that you start developing a great relationship with yourself and bringing your attention back to you. I was just thinking I've actually got another freebie at the moment, so I'll put the link up to that as well. This is the Empath's Empowerment Manual. I'm having a real problem with my words today, that you can get hold of, which will guide you through what's happening for you and what you need to do to make the changes that you want to make, so that you're not struggling. And it's not a difficult thing to be an empath. Imagine it being the joy instead of the pain, the gift instead of the curse. Don't listen to everything you read about being an empath. I know you've been struggling, and I know how difficult it is. I've been there. But a lot of what cemented the problems for me was what I read about it. And a lot of stuff is written by people who maybe haven't managed to find a way out of it yet. So try not to be swayed by all that you've read about being an empath, because it really can be a joy. I say that from personal experience, having come out the other end. So I hope you found this useful. Grab hold of your free resources. I'll put the links below this video. Check out Energy Busters. Find out whether that's right for you now or later. I would absolutely love to see you there. But by the way, you'll get your discount on Energy Busters. But if you grab your place now, you'll be able to extend the payment even further, because you'll be doing it in advance. What's not to love? And I will speak to you very, very soon. So bye for now.